Barbarian Invasion came out at a weird time. By 2005, the era of the GameCube and the PlayStation 2 was ebbing away. We saw the Nintendo DS for the first time, and the Xbox 360 was coming out in a few short months. People wanted something new and fresh. They wanted a clean break from the old and witnessed this new era of internet connectivity and clean graphics. In the midst of all this change, Creative Assembly released a new expansion to their Rome Total War game. Previously, Total War and other RTS franchises had been built around one word: conquest. You begin with a small faction on some godforsaken corner of the earth and build up your might until you're a leading superpower. There's immense gratification in seeing your lands expand and your enemies fall, especially given the historical context. Barbarian Invasion, though, wasn't a game of conquest. Instead, it took the road less traveled. It's a game of survival of epic proportions. When you start out, there's 3 big-ass empires hogging your map, and tiny little barbarian kingdoms and hordes dotting the north. It's like sharks and minnows, except the minnows are bloodlusted and have like AIDS or something. They're toxic, and you don't want these smelly douchebags in your empire. So you're Western Rome trying to beat back the Vandals, while Gaul is rebelling and the Eastern Roman Empire has cut ties with you. It's like you're fighting some ugly gangster on the street who you know is weaker than you, but your organs are literally trying to kill each other inside of you, and your girlfriend just called and she's breaking up with you and taking the house and the kids. Maybe that's a little too specific of an example. The Western Roman Empire was a special case in a game full of difficult factions, wherein it was simply the hardest one of all. Trying to survive as the West is easily one of the most difficult campaigns in Total War history. The kicker is that the hardest bit is in the first few turns when you're trying to cut down on your terrific spending, all the while fighting rebellions and trying to maintain some semblance of public order. If you get things in line, you'll be greeted by horde after horde of barbarians and their stupid horse archers, and possibly the Eastern Roman Empire, if they're not in a good mood that day. This was the first and only campaign I ever looked up a strategy guide to help me beat. But for all its frustrations, it's so easy to get drawn to the West. Stopping the fall of Rome is easily the biggest historical what-if in a game built around historical what-ifs. As for the other big factions, they're a lot less frustrating, but you still have to be prepared for stacks of barbarians and excellent micromanaging to maintain your already sizable regions. I think I prefer Eastern Rome if only because it has the most diverse roster. But what about the hordes, you say? They vary in difficulty, but you have to remember that each one is pretty capable of destroying another, and assaulting one of the big 3 guys the wrong way could lead to certain doom. That being said, nothing is more therapeutic after a session of Western Roman micromanaging than to steamroll the globe as the Huns. No wonder Attila is the centerpiece of the new game. It just feels so good destroying all that ancient culture and knowledge. As I sing this game's praises, it's important to remember that it's still just an expansion for Rome, and a lot of the complaints still apply. Rosters are limited, and gameplay mechanics are frustrating to wrap your head around, especially if you're used to the simplified, streamlined gameplay post-Shogun 2. Soldier models look incredibly blocky, and everything's way too colorful for a game that's supposed to be about the fall of civilization. But let's not forget that it introduced many of the innovations that would later be perfected in Medieval 2. Things like morale-buffing units and religion really started in this game, and both would become integral parts of Total War in the future. Although this expansion's pretty forgettable nowadays, you can't help but applaud the fact that they tried a lot of new things, and, for the most part, succeeded. If you want more retrospectives and reviews, remember to hit that subscribe button. Also feel free to check out my book reviews and my Rome retrospective. Now if you excuse me, I'm gonna go kick some Vandal ass.